All right, everybody, what's going on? It is post-Thanksgiving, so I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Spent time with your family and your loved ones. I am in the shop. I am getting prepared for my friend Joe to come over in a little while. I'm going to get to work on the roll bar. So I don't typically record whenever we're doing things, when we're trying to get stuff done, because his time's valuable, and I respect that. I appreciate the fact that he's coming over and helping me. So I want to make the most of my time with his time. So that being said, we're going to get into one of the two projects that I need to get done before he comes over and we do the roll bar hoops. The first one is a support for my steering wheel, my steering column, or the shaft in the steering column. What I came up with is this template. This hole right here is going to be right on the front of the third member on the differential of the rear axle. There's one, like a little rib on it, and I'm going to drill 3 holes. So I'm going to show you on the car itself, show you where it's going to go. I'm going to then take a piece of this tubing, cut it down just as a carrier. It's not going to have a bearing or anything like that in it. It's just going to be a stability, a support for the steering shaft. So I'm going to show you guys that real quick, and then we're going to get right to work. So I came up with this template. This template is going to use this particular stud on the top of the center section on the rear axle. Again, there's a small rib here. That is going to go like that. And then I'm going to put a piece of that tubing, like I said, just to carry this, just to make sure there's a little more support. Then also what I need to do on the front of the steering box here, where the shaft comes out, there's a dust seal. So these steering boxes are obviously made to be more vertical than horizontal. So my buddy Joe was telling me I'm probably going to end up needing to cap that somehow. So I'm going to look for an O-ring that fits in there underneath that dust seal. I'm going to put that dust seal back on, and then I'm going to cut down the tube that I removed and cap it and put the clamp back on it, just to try to keep any of the grease or any of the heavyweight oil that's in there from coming out. So that's going to be something that I'll do later on down the road. For now, I'm going to get to work on this particular bracket. So that's what we're doing in today's episode of this old hot rod. All right, so we're gonna get right into I'm gonna get right into it. Piece of 1/8 inch stainless plate. I've already traced out my template. Move that to the side for now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get my cutoff wheel. I'm gonna cut this out real quick with my cutoff wheel. Then what I'll do is I will get the center line figured out, get the holes marked, get them drilled on my drill press. I'll get the hole drilled for the post, and then we'll get this cut down, turn down in the lathe, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so I'm just getting this layout kind of figured out here. You can see I got some washers on here that I'm using as my trace materials. That's pretty good there. Now what I need to do is I need to figure out exactly where this hole location is, and I'll get this hole drilled out. So that'll be the next step, is to get this hole drilled out, and then I'll get these 3, and then I kind of have this temporarily marked with the height needs to be 5 1/4 inches, and then this is going to sit in that right there. All right, so let's get this hole drilled first. So what I'm working on, I got the holes drilled as you saw, and it's fitting, but the way that the front cover or the center section is cast, it kind of ramps up. The closer this gets, the bottom is hitting, but I don't want to cut it off. I don't want it to be too short. So I almost want to like roll the bottom out a little bit, but I'm trying to figure out how to do that without destroying it. So I was thinking about putting it in a vise. In the vise, I tried it in my metal brake, but it won't do it. I don't want to put it like this because I'm afraid I'm going to bend it up here. Unfortunately, I think the only way I'm going to be able to do it is with a hammer. Kind of see how I rolled the bottom edge of that. That's what it looks like so far. Let's go see if it fits. I think I screwed up the hole where it goes on the stud. I don't want to screw up the thread, so let me go re-drill this real quick. All right, so this is how it's fitting so far. So I do need to shorten it a little bit, but I need to create that bevel underneath it because it's resting on it. But I like the look of it so far. Kind of what I was hoping it was going to look like. Okay, so now I need to cut that bevel out, but I need it to be the thickness of the tubing that I'm going to use as a carrier. So 4.5 from the top of the bolt. All right, I'm gonna get that cut out, cleaned up, get a piece of that tubing cut, get it welded together, and then bolt it on and see where I'm at. All right, so I just cut down a piece of that stainless tubing. Here it is. I put it down on my lathe, turned it down, got it all nice and cleaned up. That's the piece you guys saw me make. So basically this is just gonna go right like that. I need to get it welded and get it set on the car, but what I'm gonna do first, I'm just gonna dry fit it. I'm gonna put this in place, and then I'm gonna slide this down in the tube to make sure it's where it needs to be and there's no tension either up or down on the steering tube. Or column, whatever you want to call it, shaft. Do a little bit more trimming right here, kind of rubbing on the casting on the center section right there. All right, so that's where I'm at. See, the column's a little towards the top, but it's still sitting right there. I mean, I could try to raise it up just a touch. That's it. Good enough for an old dragster. We'll put it on the car. See what it looks like. All right, so let's check another item off the list. Now I'm wondering if I should have carried it over to this post also. Maybe I should have. So there we have it. That's my mount. I'm kind of thinking I may end up adding some metal and going around this just to keep the steering column or the shaft from moving side to side. Either that or maybe making something so it hooks underneath, but it's probably just as easy to create another tab and go around that. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing, so I'll probably add to it. But I'm really happy with it. I like the way it looks. kind of following suit with all the lightning holes. Matches the steering wheel. I think it came out really good. Happy with my welds, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. So that's it, everyone. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is just kind of an impromptu, quick, short little video that I wanted to throw together before I got to work on my seat mount. Next is the seat mount, like I just said. After that, we're going to be working on the roll bar, the roll cage. Going to be bending up the hoop and tying in that mid bar, or whatever you call it, this hoop here. Going to have some horizontal supports coming backwards, going to the hoop that goes around my head and shoulders. And then tying the back end of this car all together. And then we'll just start chipping away at some of the other stuff. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for your support. Really appreciate it. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. Share these videos. Tell people about the channel, what I'm building, something different. I don't really think anyone else is building anything like this on YouTube. Maybe or even anywhere. I don't know. So appreciate it, everyone. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.